So Avengers Doomsday is being shot right now. Literally, the shooting has begun in the UK. Photography's going on for Avengers Doomsday, and there's little leaks coming out here and there about what we might see in that movie. Please make sure that if you're trying to avoid anything, click off this video, even though some of this is going to be theorizing. This also has something to it, right? Because no question that there's going to be some kind of conflict in the film that matches up with these leaks. So we know that a bunch of characters from the Fox X-Men universe, because a bunch of actors, are cast, are going to be involved in Doomsday. A lot of the cast of Doomsday is from Fox. So we're going to see a lot of X-Men that we saw in the past, like Patrick Stewart as Xavier, Rebecca Romaine Stamos as Mystique, the whole thing. Ian McKellen as Magneto, which I'm excited about. But apparently there's been a couple of really interesting bits of information that have come out about that. First of all, it seems like the Avengers are going to be going against the X-Men. This was covered by a few different places. Daniel RPK, the typical leakers, right here on your screen. Quid vacuo, and it's in Spanish. It says Avengers versus Mutantes, el conflicto que marcará el futuro de MCU toma forma en Doomsday, which that translates to the conflict that will mark the future of the MCU will be formed in Doomsday. So basically what he's saying is that, and this has been rumored for a while, we're going to get mutants in the MCU for phase 7, whatever else. It's going to be called, well, it's rumored to be called the Mutant Saga. And Doomsday is going to be kind of a transition from what the MCU was to the MCU with the Fantastic Four, all the Fox characters. So we have a new complete MCU now because they got everybody who they did not have when the MCU first started, because Fox still had the rights to a bunch of X-Men characters and Fantastic Four characters, right? And this all goes back to the 90s when Marvel had money problems and sold the rights of these characters to a bunch of different movie studios. So Avengers versus X-Men is happening in Doomsday, but now that begs the question, which Avengers? Because in case you didn't know, and again, spoiler alert, the end of Thunderbolts reveals that they are the new Avengers. And by the way, I did see that Marvel straight up spoiled that on their social media. Buddy of mine was pissed because he was gonna go see the movie later in the week when that happened, and they spoiled that literally, I think the Monday or Tuesday after the movie was out. So the movie was out and then they spoiled it right after, just a few days after. So people who were waiting until the next weekend because they were getting paid, or they were waiting to see what the review said about the movie, because some folks don't want to go to the theater for a movie that's not well received. Makes sense, right? That's what reviews are for. They spoiled it. So is it going to be the Thunderbolts against the X-Men, or is it going to be Sam Wilson's Avengers against the X-Men? Because remember, Sam Wilson, after Captain America 4, is supposed to go out and find the next Avengers. Now, Bucky is with the Thunderbolts, so he won't even be with Falcon. But Falcon is supposed to go and recruit people. Now, is it going to be Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel? I mean, I don't know. I assume they might be there. A lot of the Phase 4 characters. I don't know about the previous ones. We know that Hawkeye is still alive. Don't know if Jeremy Renner's going to be involved in this. We have no idea. Ant-Man's another one still around. Let me think here. Black Widow's gone. Iron Man is gone. Captain America, Steve Rogers is gone. But the Hulk is still around. And I want to talk about the Hulk. So there's rumors that the Hulk is coming back in Avengers Doomsday. And not just that, there's a lot of talk that he's not the only Hulk. Does that mean, meaning Bruce Banner, does that mean we're going to see She-Hulk? Yes, the She-Hulk TV show had its problems, but she is still a part of the MCU. And if they write her well in the movie, I think it'll be alright. I know some folks hate that character because the show sucked, but it all comes down to the writing. She-Hulk is a lot of fun in the comics. It all comes down to the writing, not so much the character. And then, of course, does that mean we're going to see Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk? Harrison Ford was not listed in the cast that was revealed by Marvel. But like we've talked about, the cast list is incomplete, meaning they're not going to tell you everyone who's in it because they're going to have some surprises. I think the idea behind the cast list is to drop some of the names to get people hyped, because some of these people we haven't seen play these roles in years. When was the last time Rebecca Romijn played Mystique? It was a while ago, yo. And don't forget about Alan Cummings as Nightcrawler. That was like forever ago. So I think the idea is to let us know, hey, these actors are coming back, and you're gonna see the X-Men. The X-Men will have a pivotal role in this movie. But the talk, according to this article, is that Doctor Doom is gonna use the X-Men to basically get rid of the Avengers. So Doctor Doom will somehow manipulate them or something into battling off the Avengers. And that's going to lead to a conflict. I remember years ago, people thought that Avengers versus X-Men would actually be one of the big Avengers movies, down the road. But I guess we're seeing it in this film, in Doomsday. Also, Doomsday and Secret Wars is supposed to act like a farewell for Patrick Stewart and a lot of these Fox actors, because I think that Secret Wars is going to be their final appearance playing those characters, because for the MCU, we're going to have those characters but with new actors. That there's talk of them casting New Mutants and people to play X-Men that didn't play X-Men before. You can't have Patrick Stewart play Xavier forever because he is an older guy and anything can happen. So I think that Secret Wars is going to be sort of his swan song. Like they're gonna bid him farewell. They're gonna do a nice tribute to the work he's done, and then when the MCU gets rebooted with mutants inside of it, and I use that word reboot not literally, I mean more so like when they bring in mutants into the sacred timeline, if it's even going to be called that by the time this is all over, I think that it'll be new actors, young actors, and we'll get a new set of X-Men. I think Deadpool will still be the same, but we'll get a new set of X-Men, maybe a new set of other like, X-Men related characters. X-Factor, X-Force, just all the villains. Let's not forget that X-Men has a hell of a rogues gallery that we've never seen in the MCU or in any of the live action movies. Mr. Sinister has been heavily rumored as being one of the new villains we're going to see in the MCU. And even though he was teased in the Fox universe, we never actually saw him in any of the theatrical movies at all. We never saw Mojo. That's another X-Men villain. We never saw Nimrod, even though we did see Sentinels that resembled Nimrod. We didn't actually see Nimrod. There's so many. The Hellfire Club. Or maybe we did. No, that's not true. We did see them in First Class. It was different, but they were in First Class. So strike that. Strike that out. We never saw Cyber. That's another big X-Men villain, a Wolverine enemy from back in the day. I don't know what's happened to him since then, but he was pretty awesome. And of course, we never got Onslaught, which I thought was going to be, I thought should be the next big extinction level event. I think after this multiversal saga, I think the next big event they can do for the next Avengers movies years down the road would be Onslaught. And I've said that a lot. It is perfectly fit for that. So, do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And also, let me know what you think about X-Men versus Avengers. Take care.